Hello guys, welcome back to a brand new ptcgo video, and today guys we're going to be looking at the Hidden Fate set list, which has now been officially released by PokeBeach. Hidden Fates is coming out on August 23rd, which is like a day or two from now, and this is pretty much the entire set list, and we're going to kind of be breaking things down because this is interesting. There's stuff in this set that might confuse you as to what's, how it works in standard, so let's get into it. So we'll start off with the first stuff we get. We are going to be getting all these things we got from this like Kanto box thing from Japan. Not going to lie though, most of these new GXs we're getting are terrible, like they're just not good at all. But we're going to be breaking them down and kind of maybe what they can be used for. We are getting some new Caterpies, like you can see what I mean, like Butterfree. Pretty bad card. Most of these cards are just kind of plain. They don't really do much. They're vanilla Pokemon. They have no effects of their attacks. It's just straight damage. Like, they might have cool artwork. Pinsir is kind of like the first example of that. Like, it has two attacks that do nothing. Like, they do damage, but they do not have any other effects. There's no flip a coin, there's no search your deck, nothing like that. It's just damage. Horn attack, 110 for 3 energies. Guillotine, 160 for 3 energies. And as you can see, guys, it's just kind of just a plain attack. And it's not a good card. The Pinsir GX will probably never end up seeing play, because it's just not that good. There's way better grass attackers, and it's just, again, it's such a plain card. It doesn't do much. We do get a new Charmander, we get a new Charmeleon, and we get a new Charizard, which I think actually will see some play in the form of Mewtwo and Mew as an option to use. So it's got the attack Flamethrower to do 140 for 4. I think the main reason why this will see play within Mewtwo and Mew GX decks is because of Flare Blitz, which does a nice 300 damage for 4 energies, and that's not that hard to do with Welders in Mewtwo. So I think Charizard will 100% see some play in Mewtwo decks, just to be able to use its Flare Blitz attack to do 300 damage and take like an easy prize. It'll knock out mostly anything, like even a Wailord card won't survive. So I do think that this Charizard is probably the only good Kanto GX that we're getting in this set from that Japan mini set that they had. This is probably the only good one we're getting because of that GX attack being pretty decent for Mewtwo and Mew. Other stuff, just kind of plain. We are getting some new other things from these other Kanto mini sets that were like kind of based around Misty and Brock. We are getting 2 new GXs, and honestly, some of these cards aren't that bad. We got this new Starmie GX, which I actually think is a good card. It's a water type, so immediately you have a good attacker in terms of its typing and dealing with those fire decks. We got Starscream doing 40 damage for a single water. Attach 2 water energies from a discard pile to one of your Pokemon. I do really like that attack a lot. It does damage, so you can soften stuff up, and you also can accelerate energy onto the bench, kind of like Solgaleo GX with Turbo Strike. I do really like this card, and there are some Misty Cerulean cards that can actually work in favor of Starmie. Its second attack is nothing too special. Its GX attack, Hydro Pump, doing 40 damage, doing 40 more damage for each water energy on this Pokemon. If you got like 9 energy on this thing, you just one-shot something. So I do like Starmie GX a lot. I think it will see play in water decks as a one of. Being able to get 2 water energies from your discard pile to one of your Pokemon, I think is a really good attack. The only downside of this card is its HP is not that high, but other than that, that first attack, I think, is what gives this card some potential. And there's also some of these Cerulean cards we'll get to when we get there to support the card. We got another Water GX, Gyarados GX, and like the Pinsir, it's pretty bad. It's just plain vanilla attacks. Dragon Rage, 4 energy for 130. Aqua Patch isn't a thing anymore. Hyper Beam, 240 as its GX attack, doing 240. As you can see, just a pretty terrible card. Really nice artwork, but a card that will never see play because it's just too weak. Next up, we have Vaporeon here, nothing too special. We got a new Lapras, nothing too special there either. We do get a new Raichu GX, but yeah, once again, it is pretty much just a plain vanilla card. Even though it has acceleration through Tapu Koko GX, Alolan Raichu and Raichu is 10 times better. Or not Tapu Koko Prism Star, not Tapu Koko GX. You got Thunderbolt, 120. Again, it just both these attacks do nothing. They just do damage and nothing else. There's no paralysis, no switches, nothing. So just a pretty plain card. I don't think you'll ever use this card over Pikachu and Zekrom's GX attack. Like, do 200 damage, literally the same thing as Tag Bolt, but Tag Bolt is infinitely better. So you can kind of see just a pretty bad card. Most of these GXs just cater to like new players who want to get GXs in their deck just to flex, but like the GXs are just really bad. A new Electrode, Once again, pretty bad. We do get a new Jolteon, however, which is actually decent. Electromagnetic Wall. As long as Pokemon is your active Pokemon, whenever your opponent touches energy from their hand to one of their Pokemon, put 2 damage on it. So kind of, this could be like a new hit and run partner for the time being. It can get extra damage on the board. It's not a bad card by any means. I don't think it's amazing. I'm pretty sure this does work with Welder. So like if your opponent was to play Welder, and they attach 2 energies, I'm pretty sure the ability will put 4 damage on them. I'm pretty sure that is how it works, because Welder is attached an energy from hand, so this could be a decent card to play in like hit and run decks. I don't think it'll work by itself, but I mean the ability is kind of cool. We do have a new Zapdos. Not as good as the Zapdos from Team Up, but you know what, it's actually like mediocre. You got Hurricane Call. For 2 energies, you flip 4 coins for each head, search your deck for a light energy, and attach it to one of your Pokemon, GX or EX. Honestly, not a bad attack at all. The fact that it needs 2 energy is not amazing. You'd have to waste a Thunder Mountain and an energy just to do this. But if you can get like 4 heads, you can almost build up a Pikachu and Zekrom in 1 turn. And most of the time you're going to be at least getting 2 heads bare minimum, which is 2 energies in play, which is not terrible. It's a mini full blitz. I don't mind this card. I actually think it's somewhat okay. It's got 120 HP, which makes it a little tankier than the Team Up one. I do like that attack though. I think that attack is actually like somewhat decent. Not amazing, I don't think it'll see play, but like, you never know. Energy Acceleration is something that I think is a huge edge right now. Now we have a new Arbok. So here we go with some of these new Team Rocket cards, which one of them has already been banned from the expanded format for being too busted. So you got a new Arbok here with Last Pattern. When this Pokemon is knocked out by damage from an opponent's attacks, choose 2 cards from your opponent's hand without looking and discard them. That's a pretty deadly ability. And considering decks right now may not even play draw support, they just rely on what supporters they have in their deck. The only decks I can think of is like Pidgeotos and Zepstricas and Naganadel GX. So like if your deck does not have draw support, this card could be a very annoying card. Not to mention we have cards like Mars and the brand new Jesse and James that's coming out in the new form in this new set too, which we'll talk about very soon. This card is actually decent. And you can play it with Malamar, and you can like do a lot of annoying things with that ability. The ability is really powerful. Not to mention with Spell Tag in the format, you can like discard 2 cards from their hand, and you can also Spell Tag them in the same turn, so you can like get damage on the board. Yeah, this is a pretty powerful card in my opinion. It could be a new Malamar partner. With DC being gone and only triple energy, this card won't be as good as by itself. But like with Malamar and you play like Jesse and James and Mars and stuff, this card could be a pretty annoying card to have to deal with, because discounting items from your opponent's hand can be very deadly. Then we have Rocket Tail. If Jesse and James is in your discard pile, this does 80. That's what actually hits pretty hard. You're doing 130, so you're doing the same amount of damage as a Giratina for the same amount of energy, and for a really good effect, because you're already going to be playing Jesse and James within your deck. So yeah, this card, in my opinion, will be a really cool card to try with Malamar. I think this card is really good. If you have no way to really deal with that ability, and you don't play any draw support system, and you're relying on your maybe 8 or 10 supporters in your deck, you are going to probably lose, or not lose, but you're probably going to just get annoyed. And with Reset Stamp too, this card is also pretty deadly. Then we got this new Wheezing White Hole. You can play this ability once you're in turn. If this card is discarded with the effect of Jesse and James, your opponent just chooses a card from the hand and discards it. So yeah, if you play Wheezing in your deck, you get an extra free hand discard, and that's not bad, to be honest with you. Not amazing. I don't think this card will see play in like the Arbok deck, like maybe like of a one of. Its attack is pretty bad, tackle 1 for 40. But to be honest though, this is not a bad card at all. Being able to get rid of a free card is good. Now your opponent does get to choose, so that's not amazing. But with Arbok, Jesse, and James, you're discarding a lot of cards from their hands, so this card not that bad at all. Next up we have Mewtwo GX. Another Mewtwo GX card. Yeah, I know, they just love giving us Mewtwo's. This card is pretty bad. Super Cyble, 110, no effect. Psycho Crush, 120, discard all energy from your opponent's active. Finally, we get an effect. Not a bad attack, in all honesty. Discard all energy from your opponent's active is actually pretty powerful. If you get rid of all the energy from, like, an active Tyranitar GX from Dark Box, you can get rid of, like, all the energy on a Reshizard or a Pikarom. Honestly, not a bad card. I did say it was terrible at first, but, like, the GX attack is the only reason you might want to play it. The only problem is it's kind of a weak attack. Only 120 damage is pretty underwhelming, but I mean, the attack is not terrible, but other than that, this is a pretty bad card. Like, you're not going to use it. It doesn't even one-shot, you know, other Mewtwo and Mew GXs, but that GX attack I think could be decent. Some people might consider this in Malamar. Maybe this could be see play in the Arbok deck, because you can move all the energy out there active and like hand disrupt them and really slow them down, I think. So yeah, I don't know, maybe there's something there. We got a new Mew, pretty bad card too, 2 for 50. Does have a nice amount of HP. Most Mews have like 30 to 60 to 50 HP. We're getting into this Graveler here with Mudslide. Discard 2 Fire Energy from this Pokemon. Does 80 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. I mean, yeah, the Snipe is nice. Too bad Fighting doesn't really have great support right now. And we got this new Golem here. 170 HP, stage 2, so it's pretty tanky. You got Rock Slide doing 60 and 20 damage to 3 of your opponent's match Pokemon. Decent attack. Pretty much just like a flying flip, but like not as good. It's okay. I don't think this card will see any play though, so there you go. And we have a new Onix. Now once again, Onix does get the support from the Brock's Gym card. I'm pretty sure like maybe the Golem does too. I can't remember. I mean, it's not really gonna matter, but the Onix is kind of the main card. Now, this card is cool, but there's a big issue. Energy acceleration is really weak. So if I go scroll down all the way here to the Brock's card. So we got Brock's Grit, which is coming back. We got Brock's Pewter Gym, Onix GX. Both your opponent take 4 less damage from attacks, so you have this really tanky card. And you have Brock's Training, attach an energy from your hand to one of your Gravelers. So you have some energy acceleration for the Onix. Okay, cool. The Onix does need a lot of energy to work, and without Victini in the format either, Bind is actually not that good. I do think Bind would work decently with Victini in the format, being able to paralyze them. With Diancie, you can do 50 damage, so you soften them up for your big attack, heavy impact. Unfortunately, though, not great. You are pretty bulky. If you play that Brock Stadium card, you get 240 HP, which isn't bad. If this was a metal card, this would be insane. Too bad, though, it's really weak. And even with that Brock's supporter to put energy on it, it's just not that good. Avalanche Rock, 200 damage during your opponent's next turn. This Pokemon takes 100 less damage from attack, so in combination with that Stadium, you take 140 less damage, which is pretty insane. Some decks might only be doing 50 to 10 damage to you, which is insane. Too bad this card just needs too much energy to work. I don't know, it could see play. I mean, you do have Welder to accelerate energy onto this card too, so there is the option to do that. It's just basic, so you can't use triple energy to help it, but maybe with Welder and that Brock supporter, maybe this card could work. The fact that it's really tanky is really cool, so that's really about it. And you play with like mixed herbs, maybe this card has some potential. We got Cubone, pretty bad. We got new Clefable, which is pretty bad. We got this Wigglytuff GX, so we got another Fairy GX. Now, you gotta remember with Fairy types, you have some good support cards like Mina, Wonders Labyrinth, and all those Fairy Charm cards. Unfortunately, though, this card is not very good either. You'd much rather just play Whimsicott or something with this card. You got Tumble Rush, 100 damage, flip a coin until you get Tails, does 30 more damage for each heads. You got one head, so you can do 130, which is good, I guess, but you're gonna fall short of KOing Reshizards in 2 hits. Pretty weak attack. And then we have Lovely Star GX, 130, heal all damage from this Pokemon. So you're like, it's like, not like great. This is like the most mediocre Fairy type GX we could get out of this new set. Pretty much just a pretty plain card. I don't think it's that good. It probably won't see play. Even with the support you have, this card will probably not see play. But you know, it is cool that Wigglytuff is getting some support. It's kind of a fan favorite. We got Happy Mime and Mr. Mime. Not good. First new tag team card, Moltres, Zapdos, and Articuno Tag Team GX. 300 HP tag team Pokemon, weak to lightning, which is a huge yikes, but, hear me out, this card is not that bad. So, its first attack, Trinity Burn, doing 210 damage. So, how are you going to get that much energy on it? I don't know. You have a few options. You have Welder, Tabacoco, Prism Star. Unit Energy would work with this card too. But I think that the main thing this card could work for is Sky Legend GX. So like if you can get this thing powered up, you do have a good combo with this GX Tech Sky Legend. So for single energy, shove this Pokemon Archetype Tetra back in your deck, so you deny your opponent a prize. But then you have this GX attack, the other effect of it, if this Pokemon has at least 1 extra fire, 1 extra water, 1 extra light energy, so for its literal like, only attack, you can still use this GX attack if you're even using its first attack. This does 110 damage to 3 of your opponent's Pokemon. Yeah, that is pretty ridiculous. That's Black Ray GX almost, but like with anything. And to be honest, I think this card is actually a good card. If you use it with like maybe Giratina and Distortion Door, you can put like damage on like stuff like Naganadels, Quagsires, to name a few. Just trying to think of low HP Pokemon that would get knocked out by the extra damage. But yeah, 110 to 3 Pokemon is nothing to sleep on. The only problem is how are you going to build this thing up? So I'm sure someone will come up with a creative idea. I think this card saw play in Japan, so I do think this card will see play. It's just how will it work? I think that GX attack is absolutely insane if your opponent doesn't have a Mew in play. This GX attack is insanely good. It's just how's it going to work. Like, just imagine that GX attack, though, wiping out 3 Malamars off your opponent's board. That's pretty good if you ask me. So yeah, this card is great. It's just, if you can build it up, this card is really, really good. And not only that, you're healing it too. So there is a lot of potential for this card. You're shuffling back in the deck. A bunch of other, like, pretty bad cards here. We are going to get into, yeah, pretty bad stuff, like Snorlax, not good. To the items. So we actually have a few reprinted items and trainers in this set, which is pretty exciting, because we actually haven't got many reprints in a while. Sadly, there's no Ultra Ball or DC reprint in this set. But we do have some other reprints. So first off, we got Bill's Analysis reprint. Bill's Analysis, pretty good card. Saw play in the world's winning Mewtwo deck. Blaine's Last Stand, it saw no play at all when it came out in Dragon Majesty. We'll continue to see no play, but you never know down the road. We are going to Brock's Greer reprint. Some people do like this card because it is pretty good to have without Rescue Stretcher in the format, so I guess it's nice to see this card might be around for a little longer. We got Brock's Pewter Gym. So yeah, Onix GX, both use opponent, it takes 40 damage from your opponent's attack. So it only works with Onix. But again, it does give Onix 240 HP. So if you're going to try to build around that Onix, this is an immediate 4 of in your deck. But then you have Fighting Dojo too. It's kind of unfortunate. You have to split those two. But yeah, it's a pretty good card if you're going to play Onix. We got Brock's Training. Attach an energy from your hand to one of your Geodude, Graveler, Onix, Golem, Onix GX, Cubone. A lot of cards there. Now here's the funny thing with this card. There's other ways to use this. You can use it with the Onix with Land Crush. You can use it with the Rhydon from the Unbroken Bond set, and you can also use it with Sudowoodo in Expanded with Watch and Learn, which is cool. So it opens the doors for that to be a possibility, and whenever we get new Geodudes and stuff like that, this will see play in those kind of decks. Not a bad card. Not a bad card at all. We got Erica's Hospitality reprint, which is a welcomed reprint. This is a really good supporter card. We got Giovanni's Exile reprint and a full art in this set too. Not a bad card either if you're going to play Rhydon. And this card could see play just to, like, get rid of Dedennes and stuff to prevent custom catchers. And here we go, the most controversial card in the set, Jesse and James. This card has been banned in the expanded format before it even came out. Each player discards 2 cards from their hand. Your opponent discards first. If a player has no cards in their hand, they do not discard any cards. Now, the big thing with expanded is you could use this with, like, execute and energy cards and, like, pretty much make it so that it doesn't matter. But the main problem with this card is let loose and red card. Like, if you red card your opponent and play Jesse and James, and then do like a Honchkrow Unfair GX in the same turn, that is absolutely brutal. You're going to leave your opponent with 0 cards in their hand, and they were trying to basically prevent that from being a thing. Yeah, this card is pretty annoying. How good is it? Nah, I don't know. Definitely not going to be a one of in every deck. It's more going to be in like stall decks and disruption. Pidgeotto Control might start playing this. Yeah, it's a card that'll see play in Control and Disruption decks. It got banned expanded before it became a problem. It'll see play in that Arbok deck. So it's an annoying card, but it's like a tricky card to work. You have to discard cards too, don't forget. And you're not drawing cards when you're playing this, but still, it's a pretty powerful card in some scenarios. Especially if they have, if you reset stamp and play this card, it's busted if you give them like a 2-card hand or a 1-card hand. Then we have Koga's Trap reprint, pretty cool reprint. This is a pretty decent card. And we have Lieutenant Surge reprint, Misty Cerulean Gym, Starmie GX. Both use your opponent do 40 more damage. So yeah, water decks have a new stadium to work with in some ways. If you're playing Starmie, this is a great card to have. That means its first attack is doing 80, which means it's doing 160 damage to Reshizards, and you're also almost knocking out Blacephalon, and you're knocking out Volcaniums in one hit. I do like this card a lot for those Starmie decks, and again, Starmie is a pretty decent card for that first attack. We have Misty's Determination reprint all the way back from the Evolution set. Discard a card from your hand. If you do, look at the top 8 cards of your deck, put one of them in your hand. The fact that you only get 1 card is pretty unfortunate. Discarding a card is good, but only getting 1 card is not good. I'd rather just use Hapu. Then we got Misty's Water Manipulation. Another pretty powerful card for these water decks. Move any number of Water Energy from your Pokemon to your Psyduck, Horsea, Staryu, Starmie GX, Magikarp, Gyarados, or Lapras in any way you like. So this is kind of where that Gyarados GX might see play. Not a bad card. It's pretty much just Weavile GX in the form of a supporter card, which isn't terrible. I don't mind this card at all. maybe if like there could be like a scoop up engine. If you have like a Starmie on your bench, you can have like a engine remove all the energy from your big water attacker like Wailord card, move it to the Starmie, and then super scoop that card back up, bring in the Starmie, do something there. So it's not a bad card. If you play with like Lieutenant Surge strategy, do it twice in one turn, you can move the energy back to that Pokemon. Or no, never mind, you wouldn't be able to. But whatever, it's still a pretty good card for water decks, I think, if you're going to run Starmie. We do have Center Lady reprint. Pretty interesting card to see reprinted. 60 damage heal is not as good as it once was, in all honesty. However, I think this card will see play in a few decks to heal, to make him tanky. Think of stuff like Reshizard and Alolan Exeggutor Rowlet decks. Sabrina's Suggestion reprint. They're going to reprint it because this is a literal Kanto set. Sabrina never sees play though some ways you can use this as like a 5th Cynthia, which is kind of cool. Got a nice little full art rainbow rare shiny Zapdos Moltres Articuno card. Pretty cool artwork. We got the rainbow rare version. Yeah, we got a Giovanni's Exile full art, and then we got the Jesse and James full art. Oh my god, this is an insane full art. This is a funny, insane full art card. But yeah, this is a card maybe to invest in. Then we get the Hidden Fate Shiny Vault. Now here's how the Shiny Vault works. This is probably the main appeal of this set. So all the cards in this set are not reprints. They are going to be printed as alternate art cards, which means they will not be legal. So, for example, Scyther got made in Celestial Storm. So while this card is going to be a new card in this set, it's still going to be technically from Celestial Storm. So if Celestial Storm rotates next year, this card will also be leaving the format and you cannot use it in Standard. And we're going to be discussing that. So look at all the shinies we get. We get Shiny Rowlet, Shiny Scyther, we get Shiny Dartrix, Shiny Wimpod, but you can't use this Wimpod or this Dartrix or this Rowlet because they're originally from Sun and Moon base and Burning Shadows. But in Expanded, you can use these cards. Go nuts. Got Pheromosa. Now this is the first card that's like decent that you can use from the Shiny Vault set. You can still use this. This is technically a Forbidden Light card. We got Charmander, Charmeleon. You can still use these cards if you want in your Charizard deck. They are from Dragon Majesty. Sadly, Vulpix already left the format, but we are getting this Alolan Vulpix Beacon card. Sadly, we can't use it in Standard, though. Now, the one thing I'm honestly excited for is the Wooper Quagsire. Not only are they pink, so they look really cool, but you can use these. So, Drake, I looked at Quagnag recently, and Quagnag is a good deck, and these cards will be great to have because they're shiny and Quagnag's good. And you can use this because they're from Dragon Majesty. Same thing with the Froakie and the Frogadier shinies we're getting. You can still use these cards because they are from Forbidden Light. You can still use this Voltorb too, which is kind of cool. If you want to play Electro, you get a really sick Voltorb here. And it's still from Celestial Storm. Xurkitree you can also use because it's from Forbidden Light. You can't use Seviper. It is from Burning Shadows. You can use Shuppet. You can use his Inkay. This is another huge money card, is the Inkay and Malamar here. These cards are going to be really expensive, I think, just because, well, they might not be super expensive, but they're going to be, like, really sought after because Malamar is considered a great deck right now in the Standard format. So, yeah, this Inkay and Malamar, these are going to be money cards. So, like, yeah, these are one of the big cards from the set that are shinies that people want, and they can be used in Malamar still, because they're from Forbidden Light. The new Poipole is also an insane money card too to have, because Naganadel sees quite a bit of play right now. Sudowoodo, sadly you can't use it in Standard, but in Expanded this card still sees a lot of play to counter Zoroark, so this card will be great for Expanded. Riolu's coming in shiny, and it's a Detect one, so it's like the good one, so if Lucario GX ever sees play again, Riolu is here. We got this Lucario with Precognitive Aura for those Garchomp decks, you can still use it. And we're getting the Forbidden Light Rockruff, which is nice, because if you want to play Lycanroc, you have a shiny Rockruff now in Standard. Buzzwole Sledgehammer's getting that shiny card. Another pretty interesting card I think that might be sought after. Now, Buzzwole right now is not an insanely good card. It didn't even see play in the Rampardos Fossil deck, but it's still a card to probably get a couple of these, just because Baby Buzzwole is still a good Pika-Rom counter. Another big money card is the shiny Zorua for Expanded. Guzzlord here is cool if you want to run this in Dark Box now, just because of the fact that it's shiny, you can, and that is an insanely good artwork. This looks so sick with that mouth on the stomach. Got that new Magnemite. Now, funny enough, Magnezone saw play, I think, at Worlds. I don't know if the list is online yet, but there you go. You got that Metal Magnezone if you want to play Metal Box. We got that Beldum Metang. Sadly, Metagross GX is no longer in the format, but in Expanded, if you want to play Metagross, you got some shinies. Celesteela is going to stick around too, from Celestial Storm. Sadly, doesn't see much play though, unless you want to counter Gardevoir Sylveon. Kartana. Not a good card either from Celestial Storm, but you know what? It's getting that shiny. You got the shiny Ralston Curlia, so people who play Gardevoir will like that. Diance's in here too. Sparkling Witcher's Trick for a card that evolves one of your Pokemon. Burning Shadows. Can't use it. Yeah, shiny Altaria from Dragon Majesty is pretty sick if some Dragon deck starts to take advantage of that card. We are getting a shiny Garchomp line. Not the good one, not the fighting one. Still, though, that is an amazing artwork. So, there's a reason to play Garchomp with the new Garchomp. The Energy Evolution Eevee is getting a shiny, but it's not standard anymore. But expanded. Once again, a lot of these cards are more for expanded, like Noibat, stuff like that. A Ranguru, Instruct. Would have been nice to see in the last format, since this card is no longer in the standard format. Got a type Null. Crimson Invasion, which is not usable, so this card, gone. So, there's only a few GXs that can be used right now. We got Leafeon GX. This can still be useful. You can still use this card in the standard format. So there you go. Decidueye, nope, can't use it. Ghostbot GX, nope, can't use it. Charizard GX, nope, can't use it in standard. Ho-Oh GX, nope, can't use it either. Reshiram GX, yep, you can use this shiny card if you want to play Reshiram in your Welder decks. Turtonator, can't use it. Alola Ninetales GX from Guardians Rising, cannot use it. Articuno GX, can use it. Celestial Storm. This saw play recently in Pidgeotto Control, so Pidgeotto Control just gained a new bling. Glaceon GX, yep, you can still use this card because, it's from Ultra Prism. And honestly, Glaceon's kind of on a raid right now to counter Mewtwo. Greninja GX, Forbidden Light, yep, you can use this card. I'm actually more surprised that Greninja Bats kind of combo hasn't seen playing standard right now. It's damage modifiers. Electro GX you can use. Xurkitree GX you can still use. Mewtwo GX from Shiny Legends is gone. Can't use this in standard. Can't use this in standard either with Espeon GX. You can use Bayonet though. You can't use Nihilego. You cannot. You can use Naganadel. This might be the most expensive card maybe in the Shiny Vault, unless we get Zoroark. I haven't checked yet, but yep, Naganadel is still going to be used because it is from Forbidden Light. You can still use Lucario. You can still use Zygarde GX, which is hype. You can't use this Bloodthirst as Lycanroc. You can use this one though with Twilight Eyes because it is from a team up. Buzzwole GX, can't use it, but you know what? Expanded will be pretty cool. You can't use Umbreon. Darkrai you can't use Guzzlord. You can use Scizor. You can't use Kartana. You can use Staka. You can't use Gardevoir GX in standard. Sylveon is also gone too. You cannot use it. Altaria GX you can still use, so if you want to play a Mewtwo GX. Noivern you can't use. You can still use Silvally GX, however, so if you want to get a couple of these, you can. Silvally GX is a pretty decent card right now in our standard format. Drampa GX is also not being able to use. So yeah, we aren't getting Zoroark GX shiny. I don't know when we're going to get that, but yeah, so you can't use that many of them. And honestly, the best shiny you can use in standard right now is Silvally and then Naganadel GX. So we are going to get some full arts. We're getting that Aether Foundation Employee full art card. We got a new Cynthia full art, which I think a lot of people will love because Cynthia full art right now is really expensive. We are getting a Fisherman full art. Cool, I guess. We got a new Guzma full art. I still prefer that blue Guzma art, but you can't use it. Just because Guzma gets that, you know, new alternate art, you still can't use it in standard. It's gone. Hiker, you can still use. Lady, you can still use. They're just new full arts. And here we go with the stadiums. Now, these are alternate arts. Yeah, so you cannot use Brooklet Hill and Aether Paradise anymore in standard. They are still going to be gone, which is a big shame. I honestly wish that Brooklet Hill full art was a reprint of Brooklet Hill, just because it's good. But because it has that A beside it, means you cannot use it. But you can, however, use, you can use Shrine of Punishment, Mount Coronet. Shrine of Punishment is a pretty cool full art stadium, since Shrine is a pretty decent card. Sadly, Brookwood Hill you can't use, but some of these we'll see good and expanded. And we are going to get some full art gold Tapu cards, but none of them are going to be used in standard because they are all out of here. Especially this Tapu Lele, which is like the 5th like Tapu Lele artwork GX we've gotten. But yeah, that is the set. Unfortunately, guys, some of these cards can't be used in standard. I do really wish that these full art stadiums did get reprinted, just because Brooklet Hill is like so desperately needed right now for water decks. Considering how good fire is right now, it would be nice to have some decent support for water decks so that water can try to counter those Reshizard and stuff. Like it kind of annoys me that this wasn't a reprint since Viridian was. I don't know, it's kind of silly, but whatever. We got to work with what we got. But yeah, that is the set, guys. So a lot of these shiny cards will not be used in standard. They are good to go in expanded. It's a pretty cool set, though. A lot of cards to look into. Those Malamars, Quagsire, Silvally, Naganadel, name a few. They're all going to be really cool cards to invest in. So yeah, Hidden Fates. pretty underwhelming set in terms of actual good cards. A lot of the GXs were pretty trash, outside of the Articuno and the Starmie, I think, and maybe that Charizard GX. But overall, not a terrible set. It's definitely a collector set. And if you're trying to get all those good shiny cards in your account, man, get a bunch of these packs. You can get them over at TCG when they go up for pre-order. Use my discount code LDF. Get a 5% discount on your order. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed. Leave a like on the video. And let me know down below what your favorite card in the set is in terms of shiny. I would love to know.